Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're ready to go. So thanks again to Richard for the little interlude. If you'd like to get yourselves comfortable, I'll tell you a story.
Back press and everything.
Oh, very good. I just went to work. That's all right.
Okay, so the songs I'm going to play tonight are relatively new, the last year or so anyway, most of them. And in that time, what's basically happened with my songwriting is that I stopped writing about myself because I was bored to tears with myself, really. So most of these are either story songs or they're portrait songs, or they're sort of little vignette type things. And each one has a little bit of a story. The first one we're going to start is a song called 1 to 10, and it's basically it was inspired by two friends of mine who they're lovely people, but you know they're infuriating. They're constantly miserable. They mess up everything about their own life, and it's so predictable. You just know exactly what they're going to do. Whatever's the worst decision, that's what they do. And people have told them, and it makes no difference at all. So it was meant to be a bit of a sort of piss take of them, but then I just thought it's kind of what we all do, really. So it became a bit kinder in the end. So this is called 1 to 10. Well, he'd been round the block a few times and still he was never put off at the height of the hill. He'd set off at full tilt with his eyes on the mark, enjoying the thrill, the buzz and the spark. He said, "You think I'd see it coming, and I'd count 1 to 10 before telling all my friends I'm the happiest of men. I put all my eggs in one basket, and then pretty soon I find I'm licking my wounds again. Pretty soon I find I'm licking my wounds again." Well, she learned not to clutter or fill up her space with the kind of stuff others leave all over the place. She had no time for boxes full of papers and rags. Her entire life fitted into Samsonite bags. She said, "Whenever I find that I've come to depend on anybody else, I just count 1 to 10 before I break something I can never mend." Pretty soon I find I'm packing up again. Pretty soon I find I've packed my bags up again. So when life gets you down and drives you right round the bend, and you're trapped in a corner that you just can't defend, oh, before you do or don't do what all your friends recommend, just sit yourself down, look at it all again, and just accept that you'll probably make all the same mistakes again. If Joe suddenly topples over, it's all part of the act. Nothing to do with wine, no. You know what they say about cellists.
What do they say about cellists?
That's what they say about it. Okay, next one's called Three Conversations, and that's exactly what it is. It's basically three conversations that I either overheard or was part of, and it probably needs a little bit of explanation. The first one is one of those weird, surreal conversations where you just overhear something and it sounds so utterly intriguing, but you really have no idea what they're talking about. But you just wish you were part of that conversation because it sounds great. The second one was something that happened to me in a little shop on the North Kent coast. And it was one of those incidents where you're in the middle of a very nice, chatty, sort of everyday conversation. Somebody confronts you with the most appalling bigotry, as if it's normal, and you're supposed to just sort of go, yes. But you're completely unable to know what to do, really. And the third one's half made up. There is some truth in it. But so anyways, it's called Three Conversations. Don't know quite what to make of the conversation I heard today. Two nurses sharing a cake in the hospital cafe, and one used a knife straight the way, and then leaning in to be discreet, she said, "It shouldn't be allowed." And her friend frowned and agreed, and said, "I don't think it is now." standing in the shop beside the railway line, where I often used to shop to buy myself some wine. She said, "It's changed round here. This town doesn't feel like mine. And now there's all these fucking queers. And you can't tell half the time." Do you want a bag with that, dear? It's £5.99. From the stage one day, my eyes peeked out. Face of the very one the songs were written about. He said, they advertised your name, that I came was that I still feel just the same. And I said, I do too. And then he introduced his wife and walked away. And I came home to you. So I can get a bit more in here. It's the does the band sound right? The cello.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
And the guitars.
Use the guitar.
Okay. Kingway did a sort of downbeat, down-tempo, upbeat song. It's downbeat and down-tempo, but it's got a happy ending. And it was as a result of a challenge, basically. The challenge was with a good friend of mine, the singer-songwriter Chris Osler, as we were on a little songwriting trip. We both stuck, both had no idea what to write about, really. So we thought we'd just give each other a ridiculous title and start from there. And it basically sort of turned out that we were going to just close our eyes, open them, and the first thing you see, that's the title of the other person's song. So I went first, and he got Jam Jar Label. And in about 10 minutes he'd written an absolute piece of brilliance. So then it was my turn, and I got The Baby's Head. And I didn't know what to do until later on I got a phone call, and it was a phone call from an old, well, not that old.
Where were you?
Believe it or not, we were sitting in the gardens at Topsham Museum. There's some very funny looks from the old ladies going past. Anyway, I got the phone call from a friend of mine that I knew when I was living in the Middle East. I spent many years in the Emirates and Saudi Arabia. And this was a Syrian guy that I became good friends with. And he was, when I left there 3 years ago, he was really in a bad state because his family were trapped in Syria. They'd gone back for a holiday and they got trapped as sort of first of all government forces and then various other groups surrounded their village. And they were stuck there for ages and he was terrified what was going to happen to them. Anyway, he phoned me to just say he'd got them out, that he'd managed to smuggle some money in and they'd used it to bribe their way out past the guards. And they were safe in Lebanon. But I only found out most of that story later because I stopped listening after the first sort of thing he said. Because he said, they're out. And I said, well, how did you do it? And he said, well, I made the arrangements through a government agent. And that was the first line of the song, so I stopped listening after that. So it's actually nothing to do with what happened to him. But I'm very proud of it because it's a song about the Syrian civil war with a happy ending. You try it. So, the baby's head. I made the arrangements through a government agent. And we told the kids that they could only take one of their toys. And we left after midnight, leaving the whole night on. And we covered the baby's head so it wouldn't make too much noise. And we rolled through the town, pushing the children's heads down and flinching at every sound of gunshot and grenade. Somehow we got to the border and the guard winked and said, "It's all in order here," and my wife covered the baby's head with her hand as they lifted the barricade. Now you try explaining to a 7-year-old girl that she's just witnessed the end of her world. Or convince a 5-year-old boy that his mother's tears are not his fault. Try explaining to a 7-year-old girl that she's just witnessed the end of her world. Or convince a 5-year-old boy that his mother's tears are not his fault. We drove through the mountains and the forests surrounding the old family farm, where they waited with their lips caught in their teeth. And at the sound of our engine, the old women came running out. They covered the baby's head with kisses and tears of relief. Thank you. That was cheerful, wasn't it? The next one is a bit more cheerful. Yeah. I don't know if anybody knows Spain very well. Spanish travellers.
That's many years ago I lived
So
there.
Simon, did you ever come across the balnearios municipales?
Los balnearios municipales, no.
No? You know Paradors?
Yes.
Paradors are these sort of luxury hotels built in historic buildings. And so the balnearios municipales are like the D version of that. They're in second-rate, third-rate little stately homes and stuff in the countryside, and they're always cheap little hotels, quite nice little 2-star places, but they're attached to a hot spring, to a spa. But it's very municipal, it's very white tiled and mould. And they're really not much fun at all. They're run like prison camps. It's full of just terrifying, starchy women with pulled back hair and buns shouting at you. For ordering you for one horrible treatment after another. The most terrifying being the parafangos. Which, if I remember rightly, parafangos. It was my fault because they never called me parafangos. And I said, I want parafangos. Are you sure? And you saw all the other people going, my turn. They put you into this long tunnel, about 20 meters long, completely white tiled, nothing in there. I mean, it really does look terrifying. You stand right at the end, and they turn a fire hose on you. And it's literally a fire hose with high pressure jet, and until you submit, until you're just like sort of crumpled on the floor, going stop, para, and it's I'll teach you dancing for perfect. It's good for you. So, anyway, I was staying in one of those places, and the saving grace was that the friend I was with, we had a very nice table in the restaurant, and every day we were next to these two fantastic old ladies who fascinated us. And we made up stories about them, and things. They were very, very faded, elegant, and really quite fascinating, and obviously completely inseparable companions. Did everything together, and equally, obviously, utterly despised each other. And just couldn't stand the sound of the other one's voice. It was very funny to watch. So we made up characters for them. One was called Gracia, one's Margarita, but in English that became Grace and Margaret. So this is a song about them. It's called Comfortable Hatred. Okay. Comfortable hatred. For nearly 40 friends. First followed, and then set, and then ignored the latest trends. One bears a grudge and thinks the other one should make amends. Comfortable hatred that neither wants to end. Comfortable hatred that neither wants to end. Tall and elegant Grace looks down on dumpy little Margaret, all made up like a clown, looking quite ridiculous now in that sparkly evening gown. She wears her displeasure in the flicker of a frown, revealing her feelings all in the flicker of a frown. Grace makes no attempt to hide what she thinks, as men a fraction of their age keep buying Margaret drinks, giggling like a city girl now as the champagne glasses clink. Margaret makes new friends, Grace just blinks. Margaret makes new friends, while Grace just blinks. And it never crosses Margaret's mind to rise to the constant provocation of Grace's tuts and sighs. There's steel in her heart, but only kindness in her eyes. Comfortable hatred, it's just part of marriage, she decides. Comfortable hatred, it's part of every marriage, she decides. Last one's on the terrace, 3 a.m. Both trying to keep straight faces as the manager complains. And then 3 pairs of eyebrows raised as Grace lets one off again. Margaret holds her aching sides, Grace just turns to try to hide the smile that's spreading behind her fan, while Margaret holds out her hand. And Grace takes it. And these two old friends help each other to stand.
Lovely.
Okay, there's a slight change of plan. I'm going to do a request. It was requested by 2 people who have no connection to each other. Sorry? Probably not. This is what I wrote when I first basically came to Exeter. I'll try to remember it. But I'd never really performed before. I've been writing and playing since but never done a lot of performing. And then when I came back, I decided I was old enough not to be scared of that sort of thing, so I did it. I decided going to open mics and things like that. And of course, found myself surrounded by 18-year-olds. Jenny Ireland. Who was then? You're older than that. Amazingly talented young people. And it was very refreshing and fantastic to get to know them and everything else. But there are times when you feel a bit of a fool. So it's sort of about that. So this is called My Turn. Some people sit on the end of their bed, writing songs that no one will hear. But they like to imagine a world in their head, with applause and acclaim and cheers. Some people wait till it's almost too late to stick their fat ass on the line. And some people hate to find out that they ain't quite as good as they thought all this time. Some people will sing any chance they get, always first with their hands in the air. Some need to be persuaded or begged, some have to be dragged by the hair. Well, me, kind of in between, sat on the sidelines for years. So you might think it's sad that I'm the same age as your dad, but it's my turn up here. Yes, me, I'm kind of in between. Sat on the sidelines for 25 years. And you might think it's sad, I'm even older than your dad. But it's my turn up here. I start. You'll remember. Some of you might know Tobias Ben Jacob. Yes?
Yeah.
Fantastic performer guitarist who, luckily for me, has got famous and we don't see him anymore. He's here on stage every weekend though, at the Globe. Catch that if you can. He was listening to one of my songs one day and he said, if you just put that string down another bit, you get really nice chords like that. So that's a Tobias Ben Jacob chord, which I thought was so lovely that I had to write a song with it. So this is called Buckles and Buttons, and it was really because Joe said once, why are all your songs about old women? I suddenly realised that they were.
They're the sexy one!
don't know how to take that. So this is about men. Usual cliche, useless lumps of rubbish they are. But there's a bit more to them than some people say. It's been a hard night, it's been a hard fight, through a dark place, and in the daylight he tries a smile and reaches out to touch her face. He says he wants to turn back the pages to when things were still okay. He doesn't want to just burnish these cages that they're living in today. He says the thing is, I believe there's more to life than this. But his mask slips as she pushes his fingertips away. Gets up early and makes some coffee, and then sits in the dark alone. These are the only moments he gets these days when his thoughts can be his own. He used to be so out there, self-confident, the center of the fun. But now he just sits and wonders where the man he was is gone. He says, don't get me wrong, love them all, but sometimes I think I'm on the brink, and I'm only half trying not to fall. follows orders without question. He never watches the news. He says it's not for people like me to express my points of view. It doesn't mean that I don't have them, I just keep them safely tucked away. Because I find that I can sleep then without the dreams of what I do each day. And when things get really rough, I just polish my buckles and buttons up, put a shine on my shoes that gets me through another day. Get really rough, I just polish my buckles and buttons up, and put a shine on my shoes that gets me through another day. No, they don't have this. The public don't know. We don't know. Okay. We'll do one, two. Old lady.
Ouch. Hello, one.
Be honest. Here's the title.
Yeah.
So,
How do you not break more strings, Greg? How do you do it? How does it happen?
I couldn't break more. Personally, keep Martin strings in business. No. 4 strings and they don't have to move them.
You're the microtuner, son.
Okay, any Joni Mitchell fans? Me too. If you haven't seen it already, you should go searching on YouTube for an interview she did a couple of years ago, just about her 70th birthday. It's a fascinating interview. But when I first saw it, when she first appears, for the first time really, I've been following her for years and years and years, I was shocked that she suddenly looked old. And she never had, she got, like, from 1965, she just looked the same, just sort of cheekbones and teeth and long blonde hair and teeth was exactly. It's a look. And suddenly the cheekbones are still there, but it was all this, the blonde hair was sort of white and it was piled up in a bun, and she suddenly looked like an old lady. Actually, when you started watching her, she actually does look the same. But anyway, it was a fascinating interview during which she displayed every side of her personality, which is difficult to say the least. She was argumentative, stubborn, rude, insightful, daft, all of those things all at the same time. It's quite fascinating. So almost as soon as I stopped watching it, I wrote this song, it just came out. So this is called Old Lady. Takes time to learn to do that. The old lady with her hair piled high, breathing in the smoke she's surrounded by, and fixing her questioner with her eye. No intention yet to just lie down and die. For what's the point in having views without an audience? Who's gonna hang on every word? Both the wise and absurd. Lady says she doesn't listen to her songs, well, except sometimes when her neighbors put her CDs on. She'll give credit where credit's due. She racks her brains for names to give it to. Well, Bob and Leonard, they wrote a bit. But for 40 years now, they've just turned out the same old. And she pauses while another cigarette is lit. Debussy, Duke Ellington, and that's it. The old lady still has that toothy grin, and it still depends on the mood she's in. There's no way now that she's ever gonna sing or run her fingers up and down those strings. In LA she sits, surrounded by self-portraits, looking for a shoe that fits before the world forgets. Old lady with her head held high, She's surrounded by Thank you very much. We'll finish with this one.
No capper.
No capper. I nearly spent a tuning. Not quite. It's what? You might, if you know it. I'm not a big Bob Dylan fan, actually, but I really like this song. So I thought we'd finish with a cover, because I haven't done any. So this is actually a very early Dylan song, and I did know it, but I hadn't heard it for years and years and years. And I didn't hear his version of it, I heard somebody else doing it, and suddenly remembered that it was his, but also thought, it's really nice when other people do it. So this is It Ain't Me, Babe. Move away from my window, leave at your chosen speed. I'm not the one you want, babe. I'm not the one you need. You say you're looking for someone who's never weak, who's always strong, someone who'll respect you whether you're right or wrong, someone to open every door, but that ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. Move away from my ledge, babe. Step lightly to the ground. I'm not the one you want, babe. I will always let you down. You say you're looking for someone who will promise never depart, someone to open their eyes to you, someone to open up their heart, someone who'll die for you and more. But that ain't me, babe. No, 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 that ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. Someone who'll die for you and more. But that ain't me, babe. No, 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 that ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. Melt back into the night, babe. There's nothing here that's not made of stone. I'm not the one you want, babe. And anyway, I'm not alone. You say you're looking for someone who will catch you every time you fall, someone who'll pick flowers for you and come every time you call. A lover for your life and nothing more. But that ain't me, babe. No, 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 that ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. No, 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 that ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. So good for everybody. Okay, well that's basically the end of it. I think Piers has said you're in no hurry. If you want to take another glass of wine, you're welcome to do that. Thank you very, very much for coming. I hope you'll support us if we do other gigs, not just with us, with other artists as well. And if anybody comes across another place that they think that would be an interesting little venue to do it, either have a word with people there yourselves or just tell one of us and we'll go and investigate. Because I think it's fun listening to music like this, isn't it? I actually like doing it. And it's fun for us. And it's actually much less nerve-wracking, even though everybody can hear you. I find it.
Thank you for being so incredibly generous. I've not counted it, but I can see a lot of notes. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Always space for more. As I say, I've got a few CDs. I think Kinway sold a couple, or sold one or two.
I said the -6 pounds. I should have said that.
Yeah.
Or kind of whatever.
I've got some cards as well. There's some in here. There's some on the bar. If you just want to look at the website. But thanks very much. We need people like you to support independent acoustic music and keep it going, really. Okay, so thanks very, very much for coming. Thanks again to Kinway. And a huge thank you also to Piers from Little Lions for his hospitality and support as well. My name's Greg Hancock. And from me and Joe, thanks very much. Good night.
Good Thank you.